Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. It was déjà vu all over again with COVID restrictions in time for Christmas. The temperature drops for Boxing Day. That is going to pose a risk for the homeless. The Coquihalla is open for commercial traffic, and the high school football season had just one more game. Our special guests this week include Chilliwack Mayor Ken Popove and a special edition of the Welcome Mat with Matt Paisley. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. While holiday travel has been curtailed due to COVID, commercial transport caught a major break. 2 lanes of the Coquihalla are now paved and open for truck traffic and other essential travel. That has now opened up Highway 3 and the 99 for all travel. Now, it will still be quite some time before the Coquihalla is open for everyone, which that means you and I. The province is not going to speculate, though, on when the ravaged Highway 8, with some 40 kilometers of highway washed into the Fraser River during the November storms, will open, and we have no idea what that timetable will be. Now, to really no one's surprise, with the increase of the Omicron variant, the provincial health officer, Dr. Bonnie Henry, brought back similar restrictions to what we had last Christmas. And she called this a rapid takeoff as the numbers exploded in the province. Now, it's not a full-blown lockdown, but gatherings of any size now have limits. Restaurants can only seat 6 to a table. Bars and nightclubs are closed. Gyms are closed. Schools seem to be heading towards online learning for the new year. And right now, these restrictions will be in place until at least January the 18th. Now, with all the floods, the city of Chilliwack has put out their survey, a report card, if you will. City staff are evaluating how residents accessed needed information. Due to a number of emergencies throughout the city during that time, staff also want to learn what events most impacted you and I. The survey is available online until January the 6th through the City of Chilliwack website. Once all the feedback has been gathered, staff will summarize the results and post them online, and the results will be shared with the city's emergency program coordinator and the management team. While we have a white Christmas, the temperature is dropping for many days of bone-chilling weather. Overnight lows are going to be close to -10, maybe even down to -15 for the weekend starting on Boxing Day. That poses a concern for the homeless and those with inadequate heating for their residents. Now, emergency shelters have been set up with Ruth and Naomi's of the Salvation Army, and information on all of that is on their social media as well as the city website. Speaking of the city, our Mayor Ken Popove will be joining us a little later on with a Christmas greeting. Chilliwack still has to rely on trains, and with that, loud train whistles. Now, the train whistles are required whenever CN, or CP, but in our case CN Rail personnel are approaching a public grade crossing that has not been upgraded. The whistling regularly leads to complaints from residents, so the city and CN have agreed that 3 crossings are going to be upgraded, and those loud blasts will be silenced. The 3 locations along CN Rail include the crossings at Upper Prairie Road, Banford Road, and Gibson Road. Cultus Lake Park staff have worked closely with contracted crews following the November the 14th flooding to restore the park back to some original state. Cultus Lake Park began the next phase of recovery at Sunnyside Campground, and that continues. So the campground will remain inaccessible for all residents and visitors for the rest of the week, as crews will be on site doing the grinding and the removing of a number of piles of wood fragments. The BC Flood Christmas Hamper Program, located in Chilliwack, was a huge success. They are a nonprofit organization helping to raise donations for local BC food families in Chilliwack, Abbotsford, and surrounding areas. Leah Helmstreet, who is a health and nutritionist professional and the owner of Inspired Changes, started this program about 3 weeks ago. Now, she does have a history of creating programs for various community organizations. 1,200 hampers were put together with over 24 volunteers. There were a few hampers that were not claimed last weekend, so those have been packed up and shipped to Merritt, where that city was hit hard by the floods. Chilliwack Fire and Search and Rescue got together for their annual Christmas food drive. They collected over 10,000 food items as well as $25,000 in cash. Beauty and art is always in the eye of the beholder. So, those beer silos at the Molson Coors plant off Highway 1? They are a drab white, and Molson Coors has asked the city for permission for a little bit of art on the side. The city has put out a request for proposal for artists to come up with ideas and then paint those ideas on the silos. The deadline is January the 19th for your submissions. So have you ever been put into Facebook jail? Well, I personally, yes, I have, and I wouldn't be surprised if you've been there too. This time it was Chilliwack Hope MP Mark Strahl, and he's rather angry. You see, he posted Christmas wishes online, but Facebook's algorithm said it broke their protocol, and the posting was banned. Strahl appealed, and it was reinstated. Now, the MP claims this was censorship and didn't meet with Meta's standards, or Meta, take your pick. They're the owners of Facebook. Strahl said, and I'm quoting, "We must be vigilant to ensure that we always stand up for free speech and fight back against any attempts by these companies or our government to stifle it." And what was Facebook's response? Basically, they said, sorry, this was all a big oops.
Chilliwack, what a year it's been. We continued managing through an unimaginable pandemic. We spent the summer in a heat wave of historic proportions. And just as we thought things were settling down for the fall, we were hammered with an epic flooding. And now the evolution of a virus that just doesn't seem to quit. But neither do we. Through all this, we have come together as a community, supporting one another. I was there. I saw for myself how citizens helped those impacted by the fires and floods, making generous donations to our local charities like the Chilliwack Community Services, Salvation Army, and the Chilliwack Bulls of Hope. Taking people into their homes, filling sandbags, rescuing farm animals in boats, following the PHO's orders. And now, on behalf of Chilliwack City Council, I wanted to thank you. Thank you for all you've done and all you continue to do. Have a very Merry Christmas and all the best of health, happiness, prosperity, and a very safe 2022.
chillTV Sports, the GW Graham Grizzlies and the Sardis Falcons placed a number of players on the Team BC football roster for a provincial showdown with Team Alberta. The under-18s and the under-17s beat Team Alberta. The under-16s, they were sadly blown out. Still with local football, the Chilliwack Giants AGM is coming up via Zoom, 7 o'clock on January the 18th. The Giants football program has fed the systems for GW Graham and Sardis. Everybody's welcome. There are some vacancies to fill with some amazing Giants parents, and you're asked to consider joining the board for 2022. Chilliwack and Abbotsford Minor Hockey, as well as Ridge Meadows Under 13 A1, packaged and donated some 900 bags of food that will go directly to kids in our communities through the various Bowls of Hope programs. And a big shout out to all the players, the families, and the associations, as well as the Summit Center for letting them set up in their lobby.
This is the Welcome Matt, your Chilliwack real estate update. Today I'm coming live from Peppermint Place in front of the Gingerbread House. You're looking for a sweet deal? You know who to call. When writing a contract, not many people pay attention to the fine print and understand the legalese behind every term and condition. Today I'm going to explain in fine detail what each word means. Hold on. I'm just getting word from my producer. We're going live to a special caller.
Ho, 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 Matt. Merry Christmas. I'm sorry to interrupt your show, but I had some important real estate questions to ask you.
Sure, Santa. This is definitely unexpected. But what's on your mind?
Well, Mrs. Claus and I are thinking of moving our off-season home following Christmas this year, and Chilliwack was one of the places we were considering. But you know, Mrs. Claus is always worried about something, and she wants to know if there are any good opportunities for acreages in Chilliwack. We'll need somewhere for Rudolph and the other reindeer to run about that's close to the house.
Are you and Mrs. Claus looking to downsize from the Gingerbread House in Candy Cane Acres? If so, then Chilliwack is great for this sort of property. There are always small acreages in Ryder Lake, Yarrow, Greendale, and Rosedale available. Depending on your budget, we can definitely find you something that will meet your needs. There are always new options coming onto the market and can be very reasonably priced for what you get. But is there anything else you might be hoping for?
Hey, are you able to help me find a commercial property to move the off-season toy production facility to?
Yes, for sure. Chilliwack has lots of great commercial properties as well in many different parts of town. I can help you find a lease at a good price, or we can look to find you a property to purchase and move into. If you're feeling really adventurous, we can look for a bare lot that you can develop and build your own facility. Have you thought about where the elves might live, though?
Oh, I didn't consider that. What options do I have for housing the elves?
There are lots of options for housing in Chilliwack. However, knowing that the elves can get pretty rowdy when they get into the eggnog, perhaps townhomes, apartments, and other strata-type developments are not the best idea. There are always single-family homes with basement suites available, and we occasionally see duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes for purchase as well. Aside from all of this, Chilliwack has a lot to offer you, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. I sure hope that we can find somewhere to move you to soon, but we can wait till after the big day before we get started. Thanks for calling in, Santa.
And thank you, Matt, for taking my call. I knew there was a reason Frosty said it was time to let the 2018 cookie incident go and move you back onto the nice list.
Well, it looks like we'll pick back up in the new year with another episode of the Welcome Mat. If you or someone you know is looking for any real estate help in the future, please don't hesitate to call. Happy holidays and bye for now.
chillTV weather, more snow is on the way, but the big story is the deep freeze that starts Boxing Day Sunday and literally runs until New Year's Eve. Overnight lows could be dipping down to -10, maybe even -15. Daytime highs only around -6. And if you'd like to participate in reporting news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. We'd love to hear from you. And that's the news this week. And on behalf of everyone at chillTV, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. See if this still works. Have a Merry Christmas. I'm Don Lehn.